Good morning and welcome. We are the West Point High School Skills USA team. I'm Benjamin Smith.
Hi, I'm Ariana Guerra.
I'm Eric Ramirez.
And this is our driving simulator project. But first, before we talk about that, we'd like to talk about our community partner and stakeholder. The organization that we're planning on partnering with is called MeHug. It's an organization serving parents of children with special abilities and disabilities in Arizona. They support parents to become better prepared to meet the needs of their children. They're looking to be funded by grants from the U.S. Department of Education, the Office of Special Education Programs, the Children's Trust, and various foundations, along with our donations. Their main goal is to have community-wide program that can provide information, educational training, and support to families who have children and young adults with disabilities and or special needs. And this is a picture that shows our partnership with MeHug. This was a video conference that we had. Mr. Everick is in the bottom left corner.
Problems we need to overcome. The stakeholder wants us to help create a solution to help people with special needs be able to drive independently. They wanted us to take into account multiple disabilities and sensitivities of different people within the community, such as using or creating certain feelings in sound to help with the effectiveness of the product. Some of the problems that need to be addressed are noise, movement, headwear, and distractions.
So, can people with disabilities actually drive? Research shows that people with learning disabilities are already driving. 2 of 3 young adults or adolescents who have high functioning form of autism are already driving or want to learn to drive. According to research, 1/3 of autistic individuals without intellectual disability obtain their driver's license by age 21. When it comes to driving with neurodevelopmental disorders, it all depends on the individual and their abilities to demonstrate good judgment and maturity. Most of the times, the families and the individuals go through a series of steps to ensure that they are ready and prepared to start driving. Many who have an autism diagnosis can and do successfully drive.
Our stakeholder requirements. The founder of the nonprofit organization, Mr. Everick Sanchez, which is MeHug, described that the Latin community has helped children and teenagers with intellectual/developmental disabilities in Arizona. With families from the lower to middle class. Some of the requirements that he gave us was that the initial budget had to be between $200 to $600. The project proposal has to be submitted to MeHug by March 11th, 2021. The first prototype must be presented by May 1st, 2021. The final simulator should be fit within a 20 foot by 15 foot room. The final simulator solution should have at least limited mobility, which means that it should be able to move if needed.
How are they going to use a simulator? The specific teams that will use the simulator will go through a pre-flight checklist, meaning that when they get in the simulator before any of the driving happens or any of the actual teaching of the driving, they will be instructed on what to do before they even begin. For example, putting their seatbelt on, checking their mirrors, adjusting their seats, and making sure that the car is overall comfortable for them to drive in. The simulator will then tell them step by step what to do, but even before they get to drive, they will continuously be taught and quizzed about where to begin so that confusion would rarely occur.
Necessary skills. Some necessary skills that are needed to be considered are suitable motor skills when controlling the wheels, brakes, and pedals, and turning signals. Being able to focus on the road for various periods of time, to recognize and to follow the rules of the road, and accept the consequences when those rules are broken. Flexibility to adjust to different elements and have proper reactions.
The steps on how to drive. Students will learn how to use the following. They'll learn how to put their seatbelt on properly, how to check their rear and side mirrors, use the steering wheel with turn signals, use the brake and clutch if needed, use the ignition switch when they need to turn the car on or off, and use the parking brake when they're parking and monitoring their speed while driving.
So the example checklist that would need to be followed, they would need to check their mirrors to make sure that they are at a correct angle, making sure that they don't need gas, making sure that there are no engine or tire pressure lights, making sure that their seat is in a comfortable position, that their seatbelt is on securely, and making sure that they're starting the car by turning the key. That if they're messing with the music and radio, that they do it before they start driving and knowing where they're going and how to get there.